Hi there, it's Mrs. McGee, and this is our class for Thursday. Today we're going to work on our last column on this page. So, two things to keep in mind. Once we finish this column, we're done with page one, but there is a page two. So, please do not share your document or submit it yet because we have work to do still. Okay, so I'm going to pop over into my research. And we're going to go down to this section right here where it says write about 3 nearby attractions not inside your attraction and include pictures of the attraction and prices. So my pretend place was Alcatraz that we've talked about. I didn't want to do Disneyland like my cover because some of you are actually doing Disneyland. I didn't want to give you the answer. So pretend I'm in San Francisco. I chose the Academy of Science and I looked up prices and I have this image. This is the Wax Museum pricing and where'd the image go? I'll go find the image. And then San Francisco Giants Oracle Park. So really quickly, I need to go find a wax museum. Oh, I totally have that. I actually know where it is. Let me go find it. Oh, I accidentally deleted it. Okay. Anyway, we'll go ahead and do the Royals because why not? Okay. All right. So copy image address, pop back into my research. Sorry for the delay game here. I thought I had them all done. Insert image by URL. And what's happening? Try that again. Insert image URL. I have no idea what's happening. Somehow I have some weird graph. We're going to go ahead and delete the crazy graph. All right, so those will be my 3 images for my 3 places. So now I'm ready to jump over into drawing. So I'm going to go over into Google Drive and I'm going to do New. I'm going to click on my More button and I'm going to click Google Drawing. So the first thing I want to do is come up here where it says Untitled Document or something along those lines. Click on that and I'm going to call it Nearby, just so I know where it is and I can find it. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to insert images. So I'm going to go to my research. I'm going to click on this. See how the blue boxes are there? Control C. I'm going to go to my drawing. I'm actually going to move this closer. Click here, Control V, and I'm going to paste in that picture. Then I'm going to go back to my brochure. I'm going to go get my second picture. Control C, back to my document, Control V is in Victory. And then I'm going to go back to my travel brochure research, go get my third picture, Control C, back to my drawing, Control V. So here's the deal. I technically need all of these in a column. So I'm going to try to click in between these two, and sometimes that's not super easy. I'm going to move this down, move this to there. I'm just clicking and dragging. So the other thing I've noticed is I've ran out of room here. So I'm going to go over to File. I'm going to scroll down to Page Setup. If you can't see yours, you might have to 2-finger scroll and get a little bit further down. And instead of being standard, I'm going to go to Custom. And I'm going to change this to um, 8.5, so 8.5 by 11, and apply. And now it's skinnier but longer, but that makes more sense to me. Okay, so I get it super tiny, but when you get it over there, we'll play with it. I'm going to put these three kind of close to each other, and I kind of want them all the same size. So I'm going to click and drag. I'm going to play with this for a little while. You're going to play with it a little bit more than I am because you're going to have to care a little bit more than I am. You got more time than I do. Okay. So why do we do this in Google Drawing? The main reason is we want to put writing on it. I'm going to separate them just a little bit more. And then one of the things I want you to see is when I click on a picture, I have these little handles. So I can click on this handle and tilt my image a little bit. And then I can click on this one and tilt it maybe the opposite direction. And it just adds a tiny bit more interest to my document. So I'm going to leave it at this, and I want to just see what it looks like inside my travel brochure. So I'm going to go to my actual brochure, click right here in your first column, and we're going to do what we did yesterday with this guy. Insert, drawing, from Drive, and my most recent should come up, which is right here. I'm going to click on that. It's blue, so I can click select. And I do want to link the sources. So what that means is that if I make a change on my Google Drawing, it automatically changes my travel brochure. I'm going to click insert, and look how dinky donut tiny it is. So I'm going to go ahead. I think if I double click here, I get these options and I can go back, but it's still open. So I'm just going to go here. So I'm going to make this one bigger, and I'm going to drag it down to the bottom. I'm going to make this one bigger, and I'm going to drag it down. I'm having them overlap a little bit just because I want to. You do you. Just all in a row is just kind of boring. I'm going to move this one up a little bit. Also, if I wanted this one to cover the sky, if it's active when it's blue, I can click on Arrange, Order, and I can say Bring to Front, and you'll notice that now this picture is behind this picture. So I'm going to leave it like this for a second. I'm going to go back into my travel brochure, and I'm going to click Update, and we're going to see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down so I can actually see my whole column. I'm kind of okay with this, and then I'm going to click and I'm going to drag, and it's going to distort. It's just how it is. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so I totally get that it's distorted and it might be too much for you to handle. You decide. And again, just like we played with this one, we can play with this guy and get it a little bit more over. So I'm going to make my pictures a little larger, Totally off the page here, but whatever, a little larger. And then I can barely see the giants anymore, so I'll try to figure that out. Shrink this one a little bit. Okay, so going back to the travel brochure. So you can see that this is a lot of playing to see what it looks like. Update that and see if it fixes it at all. Okay, so this isn't my column I care the most about. It's really just the activity of trying to get it. So you'll see again that it's short. So I'm gonna have to click here and drag. We're gonna deal with that in a minute. All right, back to my drawing. Here's the deal. We're gonna add a text box. And in all fairness, it'll be easier if you make your boxes straight for this. I'll show you the magic in a minute. you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but there's little numbers right there that tell me how crooked I am or how straight I am. So I'm at 2.6, 2.1, and 0. Okay. Okay. So right here, I'm going to insert a text box, and I need to type on here a color that's dark enough or bright enough and big enough. So we're going to try 18. So this is the California Academy of Sciences. And then according to my research, I'll get over to research, it is $30 to $36. So on the next line, I'm going to write $30 to $36. And remember we talked about the other day, dollar sign goes first. You can see how you totally cannot even see that. So I'm going to try moving it. What if I move this whole box down to the water? It's better. So I'm going to click on it again, highlight all the words, and I'm going to try to bold it. And I'm going to see if that works when I get it over there. And then I'm going to do this one. I'm going to add a text box. I'm just going to go quickly because I'm sure you don't want to watch me do this for days. So, and I'm going to put on the next line how much money it costs. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to copy and paste this one. You will have to do something a little bit different. And then pretend that those are my three. Here's the trick. If I want to tilt one, but I also want the text box to go, I'm going to click on the text box, hold down my shift key, and then click on the image. And do you see how now there's a box here and there's a big box here? I'm going to come up to arrange and I'm going to group these. So when I spin this, both go together. That's the magic. So I'm going to spin this a little bit. I'm going to come up to this. I'm going to hold down my shift key, click on the text box. It's easier, I guess, to click on the text box and then the image. And again, now you have those go together, arrange and group. And I'm going to have to scroll up to get to this handle. Tilt it a little bit. And now I can actually move this up. And do you see it's going to take both things at the same time? The text is going to go, the image is going to go. And then I'm going to click on the shift, click on the box, arrange, group, and I can tilt this a little bit. Way too much. Okay, so you play with it until you feel comfortable with it. So let's pretend I think this is perfect. I don't, but we're pretending. So I'm done. I'm going to go into my travel brochure and I'm going to update again. And there are my words. So here's what I need to play with. This needs to be dragged down. This is actually cropping for some reason, and I really don't know why. So even though I move this black box down to the bottom, I need to also come back and take that blue square to the bottom. And yes, it will distort. It's what it does. We're not legit graphic designers, so it's okay. And then the same, that's what it would look like. If you want to add a background, the best place to do that would be here. So here you could create a shape and just go top to bottom. And then use your paint bucket. I don't know where my paint bucket went. Oh, not in a thing. Didn't like that. I think it went too far. And then now I have a paint bucket. And let's say I want to make it the same color as my other one, which I think is that. And then see how this is on top. So again, we go to arrange, order, and we're going to go send to the back. Okay, we go back to my travel brochure and we update and maybe a color shows up. Voila. So it looks a little bit messy if you're clicked in there. If you unclick in there, it looks a little bit cleaner. So today's job, oh, see how it's still too short? I want it to be the whole length. So I'm still gonna click on this and I'm gonna take this blue box and I'm gonna drag it all the way down to the bottom. And again, it distorts, it distorts. It's just how it works. Okay, so today's job, all 3 columns on page 1 should be finished. And then Friday we'll start page 2. Have a great day.